Hey, hello, welcome to another Saturday, another happy December stream as promised. We are here today to be on the stream and talk a little about Mandalorian Season 2. It's gonna be spoilers, so if you haven't seen anything from it, I do advise you go watch it. It's gonna take you like 6 hours, and then you can come back. Even though this is a stream, there's gonna be a video on my channel when the stream is over, so don't worry about that. But yeah, welcome to the stream. How are you? Hopefully you're doing great. If you do wonder how I feel, honestly, I'm not the best. I had some stomach issues. I still have. But I was like, you know what? I did promise you guys that I'm going to do this every single Saturday in December. And we are getting very close to the Christmas. We are 1 week away. So one more stream in December for sure. But I am really enjoying this. So I do believe I'm going to continue doing this after 2020 is over. So in 2021. It's not gonna be a happy December stream, maybe happy January, who knows. I don't know where I'm gonna take this stream. Hopefully, you're gonna enjoy it. But yeah, welcome. If you're in the chat, if you're watching this, say hello, say hi, ask me any questions about Mandalorian, about anything you want. The main topic of today is gonna be the Mandalorian season finale, season 2 in general. We're gonna talk a little about my thoughts on it, hopefully your thoughts in the chat. So if you have, like I said, any opinions, feel free to share it and we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, hopefully this is gonna be good. I don't know if you're gonna agree with me. Feel free not to agree with me. I think that's completely something normal. But I do think that my opinion on the show, especially on the finale, is gonna be in minority. I'm not gonna be. I don't feel the way that majority feels about this episode. So yeah, I think that if there's nobody who wants to say hi or hello in the chat, I'm gonna start with my season 2 finale spoiler review or spoiler talk. Once again, if you haven't seen the show, mute me or just go back, watch the whole season. Like I said, it's gonna take you 6 to 7 hours. I think somewhere around there. And then come back and watch this video or maybe watch another video. I don't know. Hello, I haven't seen The Mandalorian, but that's okay because Twitter spoiled me the ending. Not even mad about it. Well, yes, Alex. Twitter can be bad sometimes, or the majority of times. I mean, especially about getting not spoiled. It's really hard on Twitter, especially with such a big show that Mandalorian is. But yeah, let's start with my opinion. So, season 2, chapter 16, called The Rescue, I think as a whole was phenomenal. But let's talk about the last 5 minutes. I don't mind. I'm sorry that I'm spoiling right now, but like I said, spoilers. I don't mind Luke Skywalker has appeared in the show. Do I think that I was happy about it, where I thought we're not gonna connect this to the Skywalker saga, because I think at least I was a bit oversaturated and kinda over the Skywalker saga. So I was like, I don't want Mandalorian to become another Skywalker saga edition. And I was really happy and really glad to see that until the chapter 16, that was the case. But when it happened, I will say I was hyped for it. I was glad to see Luke Skywalker. I think it makes sense. I mean, it completely makes sense. And it was epic to see him, like, doing the shenanigans, being this peak Luke Skywalker after the Return of the Jedi. I think it makes sense, even though you have to understand I am a casual fan, so I don't know any of the like the deep lore things that Star Wars fans do, but I still appreciate it what it is, and it makes sense. Where this episode season finale lost me was the way Luke Skywalker looked. I cannot get over it how bad it looked. At least for me. I know I'm in minority, but it didn't look good. I do understand that Star Wars fans can get over that the fact that he looked very wonky. He looked like I don't know, a really bad bobblehead. I mean, people were screaming when Will Smith's genie was first revealed. I'm sorry, this CGI was on the same level as that, and in my opinion, even worse, if you ask me. And genie is not a freaking thing that exists. So the fact that people couldn't get over the fact that genie doesn't look real. How the heck can you get over the fact that this looks bad? And I do understand the because the story and because the hype and the feeling of Luke Skywalker being here is phenomenal, and I completely understand that. But it took me immediately when he takes his hood off. I cannot get over that, and it gave me even a bigger reason to doubt a lot the decision they made to bring Luke Skywalker back. As I told you already, I was over the Skywalker saga. We've got 9 movies with Skywalkers, and I was so glad and so happy that now we are getting Star Wars content that is not gonna be, or it's not gonna be attached to Skywalker saga. And you have to understand, I know you've got Boba Fett back, you've got Ahsoka, you've got so many characters that already were in the Skywalker saga, but the way they did it was now that we have those characters back, we can grow their characters. They can go somewhere that so far we didn't know where they're going, but with Skywalker we know what happens. So I honestly hope that Luke Skywalker doesn't become a regular thing on Mandalorian season 3 or whatever that means, because I don't know if Mandalorian season 3 is gonna be Mandalorian season 3, because there is a post-credit scene where it shows Boba Fett taking the mantle of this Hutt crime syndicate, and then was the reveal that we are getting a spin-off series, The Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if that means The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and this is what season 3 looks like, or this means a completely separate series that is gonna have characters from Mandalorian involved in this, of course, but is this 2 things separate? Another thing, besides Skywalker looking wonky, if they make it a regular thing, and if they make it that Luke Skywalker is now a big thing in Mandalorian or just a spin-off show, please cast somebody as Luke Skywalker. If you're going with CGI look, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind a CGI look that much if it would look much better. I mean, the level of CGI that we had in this season was incredible. And probably that's the reason why I was even more shocked than I would have been if the CGI so far wouldn't be so amazing that it looked so bad. I don't know if the decision of bringing Luke Skywalker back was from the beginning of season 2, that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni wrote him from the beginning. I don't know. Nobody knows. The only people who know are the creators of the show. Was that was the reason for that because of all the drama that supposedly happened on the set? Does that mean that now the way this season ended, that this means this is the end of Din Djarin. I hope not, because I think that the best thing about Mandalorian, besides being big in scope, bringing familiar characters back, was the relationship between Baby Yoda, Grogu, and the Mandalorian. I think there's so many questions unresolved that I I don't feel like what we've seen with Mando and Grogu should be the end. I think that their connection, their father-son relationship was the thing that made this show even better than already was. And I think that if we move forward with season 3, and that means now the main focus is Boba Fett, I wouldn't like that. I don't mind the Boba Fett TV show at all. I think Boba Fett, the return of Boba Fett was phenomenal. I think Tamora Morrison did an amazing job. I think he's a badass, and I think where they put his character now, I think it's awesome. And I think the show about that would be awesome. But I don't want Mandalorian Season 3 be Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett show. I don't want that. I want Din Djarin. I want Grogu and Din Djarin together. If they make Mandalorian Season 3, where they are making it, but we don't know. There hasn't been any clarification what Mandalorian Season 3 means. Is that Mandalorian Season 3 or is it Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett? I don't want to see Mandalorian without Grogu, because that was the focal point of the show. That is what made this show amazing. And if they move forward without the relationship, I don't want that. I'm sure it's gonna look awesome, and Din Djarin is gonna have a lot of, missions and go there and maybe, connect with Boba Fett or whatever. I don't want Mandalorian Season 3, if they continue with Din Djarin, without Grogu. And I don't want Mandalorian Season 3 to be the book of Boba Fett. I want that to be a separate thing. And I do like that they are expanding Star Wars universe. We are getting a Ahsoka Tano series. We're getting a new animated thing. We're getting so much stuff that I think, if done right, awesome. I will watch them all. Even as a casual fan, probably most of the things I'm going to be very oblivious to, and I'm going to be like, what's going on? But I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say, but I think that the decision they made with the last episode wasn't the best. And I know I'm in minority. I know people are freaking out, and I wish I had the same feeling as the majority has, that, whoa, Luke Skywalker, it was awesome, now he has Grogu. But we know what happens with Luke Skywalker. We know what happened with his school. Does that mean Grogu dies? I don't know. Hopefully not. Because we know what happens with his school. Kylo Ren burns it down to the ground. Every single student pretty much is dead. Did Grogu escape? I don't want to get attached. If they go with Luke TV show, spin-off show, first of all, cast somebody. Sebastian Stan, I don't know, an unknown actor, somebody who has the looks and has the chops to pull Luke Skywalker off. Don't want a CGI face. Even if they, put hundreds of millions dollars into it to have him look better. Just cast somebody, please, because it really makes a difference. It really does. I love Rogue One. The one things that were kind of wonky was Tarkin and Leia, who were completely CGI. And I heard that Mark Hamill was playing the role of Luke Skywalker in this episode, and he voiced it. But first of all, it looked weird. I mean, he looked so weird, and he didn't sound like him. So if you're gonna put Luke Skywalker, the most known and beloved character from Star Wars, and have him as the main character in the future of, other shows or his own show, cast somebody. Please please do that. Because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get over the fact I'm looking at a computer generated thing, and it should be a like a real person. I don't know if I can get over that because it took me immediately out of it. So and he's like in the show for 3-4 minutes, and the more you look at him, the harder it is, at least for me. But I don't know what the direction moving forward with this show is, and I'm honestly, I know, in minority, but I'm honestly afraid where we are going next, where we are moving forward. Because, like I said, I do like that Boba Fett is getting its own show, but I don't want that to be continuation of The Mandalorian season 2. And if we get The Mandalorian season 3 with Din Djarin, I don't want that to be without Grogu. And the decision that now Luke Skywalker has Grogu kind of means that we don't for 100% know what happens with the Grogu, but the implication that what we've seen from the new trilogy, we know what happens. I mean, yes, Grogu can escape. There are speculations he's gonna go to the dark side. I mean, yes, great, but I don't know what that means for the future of Mandalorian and the future of these shows. I honestly don't, and I don't like that. I am very skeptical of where this potentially could go. I honestly don't know. But those were the bad stuff. The majority of, like, 95% of Mandalorian season 2 I absolutely loved. I think it was like even better than the first season. I like where they went with the scope. It was big. It was epic. I think that what my problems with the first seasons were that there was not enough connective tissue between the episodes. I think in this season we had like maybe 1.5 episodes that were like, okay, this is a side mission. It looks cool, but doesn't progress the story at all. But everything else made sense. It pushed the story and the arc of the characters that we were looking at forward, and I applaud them for that because it looked awesome. I really loved the story of this season. Yes, last episode is last episode, but I'm gonna have to be okay with that. I mean, the characters that were brought back, I mean, Boba Fett, of course, awesome, badass. Tamora Morrison did an amazing job being this really angry guy. I think I cannot wait to see what that means for Book of Boba Fett in one way, even though I'm afraid of what that means for Mandalorian. But I think Tamora Morrison did an amazing job, and I'm happy that we are gonna get more of that. I'm very happy with that. I think that the best episode I will say is the Ahsoka Tano episode, chapter 13, titled The Jedi. And I knew of the character, but I haven't seen any of the like animated shows, so I didn't know any of the backstory. I didn't know any. I just know how she looks and that it's gonna be played by Rosario Dawson, and now she's getting a spin-off series, which was predicted. I mean, after her appearance in the chapter 13 and the way the episode was. How people were happy about the episode and her portrayal, I think that was completely normal and expected that we're getting a spin-off show. But as somebody who is a casual fan, not knowing pretty much anything about Ahsoka Tano, I was blown away by that episode. Dave Filoni directed it, and I think it was so powerful, so epic, so badass. Rosario Dawson did an amazing job, and I cannot wait to see more of her. And I was actually a bit, not let down, but surprised that we haven't seen her more. Especially now in the last episode where we had the team, but I cannot wait to see more of that because I think Ahsoka Tano did, as a casual fan, my new favorite character besides Mando and Grogu. I think she's just a badass. That's pretty much it. But if I had to pick least favorite episode, would be the second episode called The Passenger, Chapter 10, the episode with the Frog Lady. And not because of the Frog Lady, and I think it was well directed. The only thing that bothered me in that episode was the humor. It felt like it didn't belong in Star Wars lore, or I kind of felt like I wasn't watching Star Wars humor, and maybe that's why it took me out of it. I like the way it was shot. I like the action in it, the spider things, and it was funny at times, but some of the humor just didn't work for me, and I was kind of taken out of it. But still, a good episode nevertheless. But every other episode, I think what they did this season, like I said, it blew me away. I think they utilized this new technology they're working with, and the actors, and bringing characters back, and having this amazing huge Star Wars lore, and people who loved it and are biggest fans of it, like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, who knows what they're doing. I think what they did with season 2 was mind-blowingly amazing. And even though I don't like the way it ends, I still think, like I said before, it makes sense. I think I wasn't disappointed that there was no other Jedi there, but I think it would probably make me happier, and just that it's really hard for me to say that why does the ending and the appearance of Luke Skywalker bother me so much. It's probably because I was just so happy that Skywalker Saga ended last year, and that we are not gonna get, at least for a couple of years, nothing more of Skywalkers. I didn't like Rise of Skywalker. I think it's one of the worst movies in Star Wars, like in Star Wars universe ever. I hated that movie. I honestly did. And even though it makes sense, I was hyped during the episode. You can watch my reactions, but the whole reveal and the way it looks, it kind of just opened that worries and disliking of Skywalker Saga, and especially from the last movie. It kind of opens the floodgate for me to just be, why? I mean, why? And I know I'm in minority. I think lots and lots of people, the majority of people, loved the episode, and I watched a few reactions of other people. They were so hyped for Luke Skywalker, and I'm happy for them. I wish I felt like that, but I don't. So I don't know where Mandalorian goes next. We're getting so much Star Wars content. I mean, Ahsoka, Tano, the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, here on IMDb, if you go on season 3, it says 25th December of 2021, which was teased in a post-credit scene for the Book of Boba Fett, which I'm guessing now that means that we ended Din Djarin's story and Grogu's story, which I don't like. I honestly don't like that. I don't want that to happen. But was that the reason behind for that? Because there was supposedly some issues, even though Pedro Pascal recently said that there was no issues on the set. But even though if there were issues, you have to understand, on the set there are always issues. People with creative minds, when they're trying to make something awesome, there's gonna be disagreements. I mean, that's completely normal. I don't understand people who just like, oh my gosh, they're arguing, everything's gonna go to shit. I mean, no, it's not gonna go to shit. But now, with the ending that we've got, I do wonder and do ask myself, was the reason for wonky CGI and the ending that we've got because of that, and maybe they rushed it and that wasn't supposed to be the ending. I do wonder that. I mean, even though it's been a while since everything was done and shot, but why am I so disappointed about the way looked is because everything in the show, CGI wise, VFX wise, however you want to call it, looked incredible. And people are like, yeah, this is a TV show. They don't have such a big budget. I mean, come on. This show has cost them, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, probably $100 million. And because everything else looked so amazing, I was blown away by how bad Luke Skywalker looked. And like I said before, if Star Wars continues and decides to go with Luke Skywalker, like to be a regular character in the shows, or if the spin-off show happens, I think that they have to recast him. They have to cast somebody for Luke Skywalker, as Luke Skywalker. Because if they don't, and we get what we've got, I honestly don't know. And especially if he's like the main character, I don't see myself happily watching Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Tano, or whatever, if Luke Skywalker looks the way it does. I honestly don't. I mean, my eye is itchy for some reason. I don't even know why. But like I said, they have to recast him. They just have to recast or cast somebody. Is that Sebastian Stan? Yeah. Why the heck not? Even in my reaction when Luke Skywalker is taking his hood off, I'm like, Sebastian Stan? And then we've got a blob. So yeah, they have to cast somebody. But the problem that even if they cast somebody, we know what happens with Luke. We know what happens with his Jedi school. What does that mean for the future of Grogu? Is there a future for Grogu? Or is this honestly the end? I think the show hasn't earned the ending. I think there are so many questions to be resolved. I mean, Bo-Katan and Darksaber. I mean, Mando Din Djarin is now the owner of Darksaber. And because you have to win it over in a fight, Bo-Katan wasn't able to take it, even though Din Djarin was like, here you go, I yield, it's yours. And that's another thing if you think about. I mean, in the second episode or third episode of this, in chapter 11, The Heiress, where Bo-Katan and her crew first appears, they were kind of mocking the beliefs that Mandalorian has, like the Mandalore, like the creed of what Din Djarin is. And now you're not able to take the Darksaber because your beliefs are not to take it because you have to win it in a fight. I mean, really? I mean, I wouldn't mind that if the thing that happened in chapter 11 wouldn't happen. I mean, I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I do not know what happens next, what's gonna be next. Hopefully we get more of Pedro Pascal, but like I said, I don't know if the reason why last episode happened the way it happened was that the disagreements on the set. Was it planned from the beginning? I don't know, and that's why I'm kind of upset that I don't know why that happened. But leave your comments in the chat if you have any comments on the topic of that. Even though I'm streaming only for like 30 minutes, I do plan on streaming more, even though I think I said everything about The Mandalorian that I uh, wanted to say. Um, so yeah, I think Mandalorian. I am excited for season 3, whatever that means. If that means Boba Fett, or that means Din Djarin, or that means no Grogu, I am excited because I do hope we are gonna get some questions answered. But I think that the best thing for the show is to continue the story of Grogu and Din Djarin. I don't think we earned the end. That now we separated them and that's it. Grogu is with Luke Skywalker. Mando is doing his own thing. I don't want that. I honestly don't. Even if I don't even want if, let's say, season 3 is Mandalorian going on missions and we see Grogu once. I don't want that. And I know there was an episode in this season where we haven't seen Grogu at all, but it made sense. I mean, Bill Burr's character was awesome. I loved him in the first season already, even though a lot of people didn't. I loved him there, and I loved him even more in this season. I think Bill Burr is a phenomenal actor that brought a lot of depth into this show and into his character. I think that was awesome, and I hope we see him more. And it was completely understandable for that episode to not have any Grogu Mando interaction or Grogu at all, because it didn't make sense. But season or the Mandalorian show as a whole should be about that, because it was made from season 1 throughout season 2 to be that. And I don't think we were at the end of that story. I honestly don't. I didn't know this season had a clear arc. The worst thing about season 1 for me was how procedural it felt. I might watch season 2 if it's a bit different. Well, I will say this, Alex. I think it was the first season had the problem of not having connective tissue, at least for me, and it looks like for you as well. We had like first 2 and last 2 episodes were kind of the connective things, and the middle was like, here you've got this character, this mission, this mission. But what season 2 does best, all the characters from the first season that you've met and haven't been in some way resolved, they do have the purpose in second season. And like I said, second season doesn't have this procedural mission kind, even though, yes, every single episode is a mission on its own, but it has a bigger purpose to the story. It makes sense. So for that reason, I would recommend it, because I think second season is much better story-wise. Scope, epicness, characters that they add. I mean, there are characters that came back and they were awesome, but there are some new characters that have been introduced for the first time. Not Ahsoka Tano, but other characters that were awesome. There's this character in the first episode of season 2 that is absolutely awesome, and I want to see him more. I think there is a chance that we're gonna see him in this Book of Boba Fett thingy, because it makes more sense to have him there for what he was. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy with the season, but ending was like, let's say, you know, that when you put cherry on top of a dessert, that cherry for me is not there. Because the cherry was there until the moment we see Luke Skywalker's face and the implications of what that means for the continuation of the story. Like I said, I was hyped for it. I was so happy to see Skywalker back, but when I thought about it, and especially when we see his face, I was like, was that the best idea? And I don't think it was. I do understand that majority of people think that was the best possible idea ever made, but I'm not in that bucket. I'm just not. But yeah, hopefully you're gonna see it and share your thoughts on it. I do think anybody who wasn't like the biggest fan of the first season, I think this season was much better on every single level imaginable. I mean, they, like I said before, I think that now they understood the techniques. They understand um, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They understand with what they're dealing with, especially on technical side. I mean, the what's called the thing. Does anybody know in the chat what's the thing they're using for shooting this show? I always forget it. I don't know what is it called. But yeah, I what's up, Mr. Sean 42088. Welcome to the stream. What's oh my gosh, I have to check. What's the thing called that they shoot Mandalorian in? Mandalorian, where it's shot. Where no, where to watch. I know where to watch. Where is shot? Where is shot? Yeah, we know that was shot. Oh my gosh, stagecraft led. Yeah, we know that. How they? I don't know how they call it. The something. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat know how? What is it called? Because I completely forgot. The something. The oh my gosh. What's be? I honestly forgot. I honestly. No, it's not stagecraft. Yeah, it's on a like stage where you've got like big LED screens all over. Like, oh my gosh, Jesus Christ! I don't remember. I don't remember the volume. Oh my gosh, it's called the volume. I think now that Jesus Christ, it took me 5 minutes to finally get it in my head. So the volume is a thing they use for filming Mandalorian. I'm sure they're gonna use it for the for a lot of Marvel shows and Marvel movies and all of those stuff. But I think that now after a second season, they really have the understanding how to utilize the volume. So yeah, I think that for that reason, I think this show looks even better in season 2. Yeah, so the volume it's called. I don't know why I didn't remember it. But yeah, there's also coming this documentary TV show after the second season, like it did after first season. I did enjoy that documentary show. I think they didn't deal with the depth of what the show was and how was it actually made, but it was just a lot of people fangirling about Star Wars, which I don't mind. I enjoy watching people who are passionate about any topic, but I want them to have like more in-depth conversations about the decisions they made, and hopefully we get some of that, and that there are some things that I want to be answered, but I don't know now with all the things that supposedly happened. It's really hard. I mean, people are so flabbergasted and so surprised when like disagreements and like I mean argues when people are arguing on the set. I mean, that's normal. We are people. We are not gonna agree on everything, especially when you've got like, imagine you've got hundreds of people on a set where every single one of them is probably the best person on their field, and everybody has ideas. Everybody is gonna be like, oh, that's gotta be good. And I mean, let's say director says something to the actor, you should do that, and actor thinks, oh my gosh, maybe this should have been better, and then disagreements. I mean, and people are like, oh, Pedro Pascal walked off the set. I mean, if you argue with somebody and it's not a good argument, you're not gonna be there at that moment when the argument is finished. You're gonna be like, you know what, I hate you for the day, and you're gonna forget about the argument. You're gonna like set everything straight afterwards, and everything's gonna be okay. But people are like, oh my gosh, he walked off the set. I mean, I don't want to be with a person that I just argued with. Like, I don't want to be with that person afterwards. I mean, I just had a big argument with you. I'm not gonna be there because you kind of annoy me right now at this moment. So I don't understand that. But yeah, Alex says the director of photography said the first time he felt dizzy because it was such a crazy thing to his eye. Yeah, it's. I would like to see it in person because seeing that the environment moves with cameras. I mean, if you've seen the documentary afterwards, after the first season, you could see that the image kind of breaks for our eyes, but in camera everything looks perfect. And if you don't have a good stomach for that type of things, and if you're easily like dizzy, yeah, I'm sure that's a problem. But you can get used to it. Like seasickness, if you're not used to, like, if you have problems with that, and you don't, if you're not on boats on a regular basis, it's gonna be like a problem for you. But yeah, that's the thing. But like I said, I hope that everybody who's watching this, and if you have the chance and if you want, you can leave it in the chat. If you have any like thoughts on Mandalorian season 2 or Mandalorian in general, and if there's something that you would like to say, express your feelings, express your thoughts, leave it in the chat. I would really appreciate it. I think that the thing that it's the best for streams and moving forward for this stream is the interaction, because I think what I like about the streams the most is this like one-on-one feeling with people who are watching. Like I said, I would like that I had like 5,000 people in the chat, but you have to understand it's really hard when you have 5,000 people in the chat to communicate with everybody. I mean, then the chat goes crazy and you're like, oh yeah, I couldn't even read the freaking question. But yeah, feel free to ask me anything, even if it's not connected to the Mandalorian. I think I finished with my Mandalorian review here, but I'm still gonna stream a little bit. I have time today. So if you have any questions at all about anything, feel free to ask it. I can talk about Cyberpunk a little bit. That's a game that happened. Yeah, Cyberpunk. Who would have thought that would be such a, let's say, flop? I don't know how else to describe it. I did play it. I don't play it anymore. I had it on PC, and the things that I was most afraid of beforehand kind of came true after the game. Where do we go from here? Go on a Mando mission without Grogu. How do you feel about them parting? Where do we go from here? Yeah, I talked a little about that early on in the stream. I don't know. I honestly don't know where we go from there. Because of the post-credit scene, I'm afraid that Mandalorian Season 3 means that Din Djarin's story is over. And I don't want that. But I don't think... I don't... That's why I am... It's so open in the air what that means for Season 3. Like I said early on in the stream, Season 3, if you go on IMDb, it says 25th of December 2021. If you've seen the post-credit scene of the last episode, there was the announcement for the Book of Boba Fett show. Or, I don't know if that's I mean, it wasn't specifically said as a show, but I do suppose it's a show. And here it says Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1, which means Chapter 17, or maybe Chapter 1 if we move forward with Boba Fett. It says 25th of December 2021. Which for now it means we finished Din Djarin's story and Grogu's story, and we are now moving forward with another character, which I don't like. And I don't like them seeing parting ways. I don't want to, like I said many times on this stream already, I don't like that Mandalorian season 3, it looks like, is gonna be without Din Djarin and Grogu, and if they are in the show, we are gonna not see them together, because that's the best thing about the show. But yeah, so that's it. Last movie you've seen. Yesterday I saw His House. It was good. Oh, I've seen His House. And I did enjoy it. I think it was an interesting horror story. I think I saw it. Let me check. His House. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah. I think it was kind of too long, in my opinion. But I think it was an interesting concept that at times worked really well, but at other times I was like, okay, this is like typical dumb people from in a horror movie. I mean, if you're in a house that makes you feel that way, you're kind of like, why are you still in here? But I do understand why it was for the story. I did like it, but I wasn't mind blown or anything. But the last thing that I've seen, let me check. I have a list. I watched. Oh yeah, I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom yesterday. The last movie from late Chadwick Boseman, Viola Davis. I will say that movie wasn't for me. Honestly, it was really hard for me to. Not. I won't say I did not enjoy it. I liked it, but it wasn't. It wasn't for me. I will say that I think that this movie has better performances than the story is. I think Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis are absolutely phenomenal and should be in consideration for a nomination at the Academy Awards in 2021. But movie as a whole, I think the story isn't something special, but it makes you feel things because of what happened with Chadwick Boseman, and I think his story kind of correlates with a lot of stuff, and so yeah, the story wasn't for me, but the performances were awesome. So yeah, Fake Valentine, the finale was awesome. Well, I'm sure if you're here from the beginning, you're not gonna like my opinion. But yeah, Cyberpunk. I thought a little bit about Cyberpunk. Yeah, I don't know what CD Projekt Red was thinking. I mean, you first mistake. What this game did was made a lot of mistakes really early on. The first announcement was, I think, in 2012 on E3, at E3, the first trailer or whatever. Why do you announce the game so early on? I mean, I think that's the same goes with movies. I think I don't need, like, I don't need, I mean, if they say Godzilla 3 is coming out in 2025, well, good, I'm gonna watch it, but why? Just announce it 1 year early, or, I mean, a few months. I do understand the marketing and everything, but 8 years early, I mean, that's just dumb. Then I think the second mistake they made, especially, I was not upset, but I didn't like that decision. You have an open world game where the world is important, where you've got a lot of NPCs, where you can interact with the environment, with everything that's happening around you, and you decide we're not gonna have a third person option, or it's not gonna be third person. I think, come on, what the heck? I mean, if you look at all the open world games that, I mean, GTA, Watch Dogs, Saints Row, what else? The Witcher. I mean, the game that they made as well, CD Projekt Red. What else? I mean, Skyrim has an option, first person or third person, whatever you prefer. I do understand if you have both options, so people can play first person, third person. I mean, it's good to have options and people can decide what's their preference, but I think open world games should be experienced in third person. At least that's my personal opinion. And when they decided not to have third person option, I was like, ay, ay, ay. That's not good. But and then they've made a lot of mistakes. I mean, just announcements after announcements. It's gonna be then delays. I mean, look at the last delay. They delayed the game for 1 month. You have to understand, if you don't know, if you don't already, making games is so hard and time consuming. What the heck you can change in 1 month? And now the proof is nothing. They took Cyberpunk 2077 from the game stores, from the PS Store for PS4 for the PlayStation, because it's so effing laggy. It doesn't work at all. You are asking, did you get a refund? I just uninstalled it. I have the game still, but I'm not playing it until they fix it. I did buy the game, and honestly, I am, yeah, I'm not happy about it that I bought it. And the one thing is, when you have all the necessary specs for the game to work like the best it could. I mean, I don't have the best graphics card in the world, but I have the requirements. I have better than the requirements are. And when the, oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. And when you have the game that doesn't work well, at least it didn't for me. I know there's a lot of people that the game worked well for them and that they like the game. But I don't know. They made so many decisions that were not the best decisions. I think they put too much on their plates to actually execute it. I think the game is very ambitious, very big in scope, tries to be something completely new and original. And I think that CD Projekt Red didn't do what they try to put out there. I think they had too much on their plate to actually execute. I think, and I mean, they are saying, yeah, we are trying, we are doing that and trying to resolve it. I mean, I honestly don't care if this game is awesome in a year. There's gonna be other games that I'm gonna be eager to play, and they're gonna be much better at the launch. I mean, look at what's the game No Man's Sky. When it came out, I mean, it was hyped as hell. Everybody was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. This is gonna be the best game, blah blah blah. And it took them 1 year to actually make a good game. But that's not the point. If you have the release date of 2020, I don't know, November 10th, the game has to be at least good and playable, at least playable. I mean, you have to understand, there's been people who couldn't even play it normally. Even I, on my PC, and like I said, I've got a pretty good PC. I mean, everything was clunky, wonky. I mean, shooting was weird. I mean, it jumped everywhere. When I mean, NPCs, if you go like into like developing and the world, NPCs are boring. I mean, you bump into NPC and nothing actually happens. And the first person experience, like I said, isn't my preferred experience for this type of games. But it's weird where you've got like a mission and there's this guy who is trying, it's like pretty much at the start, this guy is putting some like tech into you, pretty much. And it looks weird when you've got like hands doing this and you see this. Like you see me now, that's what you see in the game. So I don't know. Yeah, the irony of rushing a game that has taken 8 years to develop. Crazy. Yeah, completely agree, Alex. I mean, look at the only, game studio that I am confident always is Rockstar. I mean, look at the past few projects they have. They had GTA 5. I mean, GTA 5 has been released for since 2011, I think. I mean, it went through 3 gens of consoles: PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox. Xbox goes the same, uh, and people are still playing it, and they're adding new stuff. Would I like to see a new GTA? Of course, but I know that Rockstar Games understands how hard it is to make a game, and they're gonna be just like, you know what, 2023, they're gonna be in early 2022. March 2023, GTA 6 drops. Even though I do think we're gonna get another game from Rockstar Games before we get GTA 6. I do think there's been talks about Bully too. I wouldn't mind that. But like I said, Rockstar, GTA 5, they made Red Dead Redemption 2. I love that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we go next. But as you said, I didn't get a refund because I decided to still have it. Just because maybe there's a little hope that after a few patches, maybe half a year, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a second try, because I do think every single thing deserves a second try. But we will see. We will see. But yeah, that was a big no what they did with Cyberpunk. I don't know where they're gonna go next, but if you have a new game that was hyped, I mean, this is like the most hyped game since, I will say, GTA 5, because it is an open world game, so ambitious and so mind-blowingly amazing for new gen, blah blah blah. There's so much stuff that was going for this game, and when you have it out for like, what's now, when it came out, 10th of December or November, let me check, Cyberpunk 2077 release date, release date December 10th. We have this game for now 19 days, and they took it down from stores. Crazy. I mean, just what? It's like, I mean, and people are like surprised that their stocks went down. Yes, I mean, this is one of the most hyped games in a decade. I mean, if you look, GTA 5 came out in, I think, 2013, I'm sorry, okay, 7 years ago. And this was probably the most hyped game before Cyberpunk 2077. And you've got it on 10 days, it's out. 9 days. Yeah, 9 days. Oh yeah, sorry, 9 days. And it's gone. It's gone. It's like, imagine, let's say, I don't know, what would be a movie comparison? Imagine Avengers 5000. How, I don't know what's gonna be the title of the next Avengers. Everybody's hyped. I mean, you've got young Avengers, new characters, Spider-Man. I don't know which Spider-Man, and right before Christmas as well. Yeah, and it's so bad that imagine, when Avengers 5 is announced, everybody's gonna be hyped, like speculating who's gonna be in it, what's gonna be the story, who's gonna be the big bad, blah 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 blah. So many stuff, and people and the studio is expecting $2 billion at the box office, 2 billion for sure, and they get 300 million. I mean, people would be like, 300 million is still a lot. Yeah, for a movie that's like was made for 50 million or maybe even less, but not for a movie that was done for 300 million. That would be a disaster, and could mean that would have such a big consequences on the Marvel universe in general. If we get Avengers 5, everything is back to normal, because we know it's Corona and situation is bad, theaters are not open. Let's imagine Avengers 5, 2023, theaters are back, people are safe, people are healthy, no more Corona, everybody can go back. And they get 400 millions at the box office. I mean, that would be a disaster. And I would compare that with what is happening with Cyberpunk 2077. It's a disaster for the studio, for the developers, for everybody who was involved with it, and I'm sure they're working hard to improve it, but you have to understand, like I said many times, it takes so long to make an amazing game that works at least 90% perfectly. I mean, yes, GTA 5 is amazing in every single way, but there were glitches, there were stuff, but still it worked perfectly. But I mean, and they were there were talks to have online. Imagine online with this type of gameplay that is now. I mean, who's gonna play it? Nobody's playing single player now, and online is not even being mentioned. There hasn't been any mentions where it's gonna be happening. So if you wanna play an open world game right now, buy Watch Dogs Legion. I think it's awesome. I'm playing it. I had Watch Dogs Legion, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play that after I finish Cyberpunk. I bought Cyberpunk, I started playing it, and I uninstalled it. And I'm back I'm back playing Watch Dogs Legion. So yeah, bad stuff. But has anybody in the chat played Cyberpunk? If you have any thoughts on it, leave it in the chat. Any other questions? And I would really say thank you for everybody that is here. I really do appreciate this. Talking to you guys about anything. You can ask whatever you want. Just don't be mean. We know how mean people can be, so don't be mean. Say something nice. But yeah, damn, I talk a lot and. But yeah, if we move forward with movies a little bit. Next week we are getting Soul on Disney Plus. We are getting, oh, sorry, fake Valentine. I'm poor, so I haven't. Well, I'm sorry, but you haven't lost anything here. It's good that you haven't played Cyberpunk 2077, because it's not worth it, at least now. But yeah, like I said, Wonder Woman 1984 is coming out next week. Also, Soul is coming out next week, so I'm excited for that. There's a few like Oscar potential movies that are dropping on VOD, so I'm excited for that. Let me check what movies are coming out now. Movies 2020 December. Oh, I pressed something. God damn. Sorry for that. This. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was pressing. The Midnight Sky is coming on Netflix. There's been some news that it's not the best. So, yeah, Alex, you're right. The game will be cheaper soon. But I don't know if that's gonna help the studio to get more people playing it, because if the game is still shit, the game is still shit. But yeah, Midnight Sky is coming out, I think, in a couple of days as well on Netflix. Movie starring George Clooney, and it's in space, which is enough for me to watch it. But I think I heard a few mixed reviews on that, so I don't know. I'm gonna check it. There's this The Prom has been on Netflix. I did watch it. I liked the music in it, and I liked the main character and her story, but I think everything else was kind of yeah. What do you think about HBO Max movies releasing at the same time on cinemas and the platform? That's a tough question, and I will say I do understand their decision why they are making that decision, why they're doing that, but I think the way they did it and the timing for it are bad. Because you have made, I think they're gonna release 17 movies next year. You've made, I don't know how many movies with other collaborators. I mean, with other studios, with other directors, with everybody, and you haven't consult about that with anybody. I mean, because you have to understand, Wonder Woman 1984. There was talks with Gal Gadot, or Gadot, however you pronounce her name, and Patty Jenkins, and they got bonuses the same way they would have if Wonder Woman 1984 would be released in the theaters and would get $1 billion at the box office. So they were compensated for what happened with their movie. Completely normal. They had talks with it, they resolved it, and now we are getting Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max and in the theaters where they are open and it's safe to go. So completely normal, completely understandable. You have to understand they've got so many movies on the schedule. They had to find a way to get them somewhere. If they're gonna lose too much money if they would just push it. I don't know till when. But what they did with 2021 slate, they decided they're gonna do the same with the movies that are coming in 2021. And they're gonna do it the same as they did with Wonder Woman 1984, which is completely understandable yet again. But they didn't say a word to anybody who was involved with that movies. Not the studios, not people who were working on them, not directors, and I mean, what? Warner Brothers, what the heck were you thinking about? And now they're surprised people are upset. Of course, I would be upset. And not because I'm not gonna get any money, but just you're gonna take my movie that I was developing for how many years and then shooting for I don't know how many months, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that's what happens with a movie without consulting me. You know what? I would say, fuck off, Warner Brothers. I would. And I would be upset. And they're gonna have now a lot of lawsuits and everything. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is not happy. Christopher Nolan said his things. And the other thing that you have to understand, the timing is weird. We are close, I guess, to getting a vaccine. I mean, a lot of countries already have vaccines, and hopefully that means the majority of things are gonna go back to normal. We hope that the vaccine works. We're gonna get everything open. Hopefully some theaters are gonna be open if they're not broke already. Which means movies can go to theaters. So I was like, I would have understand if they would say, I know, vaccine is gonna be available mid 2021, at the end of 2021. I would understand the decision of that much more than I do now. And you can take away with what happened with not consulting anybody, because that's, I mean, even if they would know that the vaccine is coming out 2021 and decide to do what they did in a way they did, it's wrong either way. You can't put movies just on a streaming service without consulting anybody. That's dumb. That's completely dumb. But I don't understand the decision they made when vaccine is supposedly close. So, and I think the decision they made, it's bad for the studio. I think it's bad for the theaters, and it's bad for everybody who was involved with making movies. I do understand. I mean, look at Disney's approach. They had this Disney Investor Day. I was talking about Disney Investor Day with Matitz on the previous stream. They decided to put a few movies on the streaming service with a premium access, which means you're gonna have to pay if you want to see it on the date when it comes out, and a few days, weeks, maybe months after that as well, and then it's gonna be available on Disney Plus forever for free. And even though theaters here are not expensive as they are in other countries, like I said in the previous stream, if I go to the theater and if I buy a ticket for myself, if I'm the only one who goes to the theater and I buy a ticket, I buy a drink and I buy popcorn, it's gonna cost me like between 10 and 15 euros. In US or maybe already in Germany or UK, just the ticket price is 15 euros or dollars or pounds wherever you are. So I don't get it. And the second thing, I don't want to see Dune at home. I don't want to see any movies at home. I think the best way to experience movies is still at the theaters. I think that's the best way. And I would like to see Wonder Woman 1984 in the theaters, but theaters are not going to be open here. So HBO Max. That's the only way to do it. But yeah, there's. I think what they're doing with that, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. And I was talking about Disney. So they are making. I heard they are now rewriting the contracts for actors in Marvel TV shows, Marvel movies, for the reason that they don't know if the situation is gonna get better anytime soon, which means we can potentially see Black Widow at home on Disney Plus. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be completely understandable, and I would understand that as well if they decide to have a premium access and additional price on it. Movies are Disney's gonna be okay. They are multi-billion or maybe even trillions already worthy business, but movies are, especially like Disney movies or Marvel movies, they are made for. I mean, I don't know which Marvel movie was done for less than 150 millions in recent years. Probably no one. But so I completely understand if they decide a premium access. They're gonna release Raya and the Last Dragon on 12th of March, theaters and on Disney Plus, and it's gonna have premium access. And if you're not okay with that, completely understand again. You're just gonna have to wait a few months when Raya and the Last Dragon is on Disney Plus for free, or go to the theaters. But I completely understand if you're not able or if you don't want to give additional money to Disney when you already pay for Disney Plus. But you have to understand how expensive movie making is. So yeah. Yeah, Dune at home wouldn't be the same. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see Dune. I don't care if I have a 4K TV. I don't want to see Dune at home. I just don't. Gotta have the theater experience for the movie you're hyped for. Yeah, F the Rona. Yes, F the Rona. completely agree. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see movies at home. But if that's the only way for me to see them, I will. But like I said, even though Wonder Woman 1994 is gonna be available very soon, if there was a chance for me to go to the theaters, I would, but I won't. The only thing that I am happy about is Soul coming to Disney Plus, and there's a completely simple reason for that. You have to understand every single animated thing that comes to Slovenia is dubbed. So I don't see the original version. But now that it's coming on Disney Plus at the same day that it's coming out to the theaters, I'm gonna see it at home because I don't want to see a dubbed version. I hate that. I always have to wait for Blu-rays for every single animated thing. But now I won't because it's coming out on Disney Plus. So that's good. 400 million days to slow the spread. Yeah. It's kind of. I mean, we are only 2 weeks. There's only 2 weeks left from 2020. But yeah, it was a weird year for sure. Yeah, 2020 hasn't been. And I'm so amazed by how people think that when we count 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, everything's gonna be back to normal. That's not gonna happen, unfortunately. I would like to think so, and I would like to see that happens, but it's not gonna happen. It's still, Rona is gonna be there. We're probably still gonna be closed. I mean, our country is gonna be closed completely from, let me check, what's the date on next Wednesday, 23rd of December. We're gonna be closed completely. We're not gonna be allowed to get outside the county. The only things that are gonna still be open are, of course, the stores that have like necessities uh, like food and that stuff. I'm from Slovenia. This one small little country in the middle of Europe, kind of not middle, like more south of Europe. Um, we are probably, like, I would say, fifth smallest country in Europe. Um, so I think the only countries that are smaller than ours is Vatican City, Andorra, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta, I think, and then we are in the line. So yeah, we are not the biggest country in the world. We are one of the smallest. So yeah, but we are gonna be closed completely. At least they say so. I don't know if that's the best way to handle this thing, but what can I do about it? Hopefully, wherever you are, people in the chat, hopefully the situation is, I don't know how to say, better, or at least that you are safe and healthy and all those stuff, that you're not, not, I don't know, that you're in a good mood, even though it's really hard to be in 2020. But hopefully, maybe this stream is gonna cheer you up. Even though now we are talking about not the best things. But yeah, I mean, still, if you have any questions for me, leave it in the chat. I'm very happy to talk with you guys. I love this, just a simple talk with you guys. I think it's awesome. And the stream so far, I think it's working pretty well. Everything is good. So that's good. Like I said, I think I'm not promising you anything, but I do think I'm gonna continue streaming after 2020 ends. I still think I'm gonna just do it once a week here on YouTube. I'm not considering so far the move to Twitch or anything, so I'm gonna still be here on YouTube. I'm gonna try to update my stream. I mean, to have some stuff on it, just to make it, to make it more interesting. But yeah, you seem very nice. Well, thank you, Mr. Sean, for 42,088. Stay cool, stay healthy. And you're from Illinois, US. Well, yeah. Hi to Illinois. It helped, made me company while cooking and eating. Well, hopefully lunch or dinner, whatever you're cooking, was good. Whatever you ate. Hopefully something good. Hopefully it's not peas. I hate peas. What happened to Clampus, by the way? Well, nothing happened. Me and Gregor just didn't have time and couldn't find the way to make it a regular thing. I mean, if you want, even though I do this just for fun, because I like talking to you guys and I like communicating with my audience, we couldn't find a regular schedule. And I think that's one of the most important things about streaming, especially on Twitch, if you want to grow your audience. Because here on YouTube, I do it because I want to connect with you, the community, with people who like watching my stuff, like me, I guess. It's really weird to say like me, but you do understand what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong. Me and Greg are still best friends. Just we couldn't find the schedule because he has work, I have work, and our schedules, like life schedules, are completely different. So it's really hard to find the time for both of us to work. And when there was time to make it work, we were always like, oh, but I'm tired, I don't want to do it. So we decided to not stream anymore. So that's what you get from streaming. I am not saying that maybe someday Grega is gonna join me again. I would like that, and we can talk about stuff, maybe play some games. Because even though this is a like movie-oriented channel, I did play on my first Happy December stream. I did play some not Overwatch, Hearthstone, just to have something in the background, because right now you don't hear any music because I have to figure out what music am I allowed on YouTube to play, because I don't want a copyright strike, that's for sure. So I do promise you that I'm gonna try to update the stream much more and make it more beautiful, if you know what I mean, for you guys to enjoy it even more, so it's not just so empty like it is right now. But yeah, nothing really special happened with Clampos. We just couldn't find the time to make it work on a regular basis. And like I said, I think that's the most important thing about streaming, especially on Twitch, where main focus is to grow an audience. Here, like I said, it's more about my community, talking with you guys, communicating. And I really do appreciate, if there's one thing that I can take away from 2020 is the continuation of growing this channel. I think it grew massively. That sounds very sexual, but but yeah, I really do appreciate every single one of you. We hit 1,000 subscribers together. I'm almost 1,500 in, so we're gonna be 1,400, I think, until the end of year. And I am very glad to see that. I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing, reacting to more movies, to more shows. I mean, 2021, especially for the shows, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that I'm very excited that I'm gonna for sure do reactions with you guys. First thing that comes to my mind is, of course, WandaVision. So that's good. And then just all the Marvel shows. I am wondering to do one more show till until the end of 2020, because Mandalorian is done. His Dark Materials is gonna be done tomorrow. So you're gonna get the last episode of season 2 on the channel tomorrow. So I was thinking about doing the reactions for The Stand, a new CBS All Access show based on a Stephen King book. Alexander Skarsgård is in it. And first episode is already out, but I'm debating if I want to do it. Maybe I'm gonna actually watch the first episode on my own and then decide if it's any good, because you have to understand, making reactions for like things that you are not excited about or you don't like, it's really hard. And if there's one thing that I don't want to do, it's fake my content. I'm not, if I'm not excited, you're gonna see it on my face. But yeah, I like to see good movie reactions on your channel. There is a movie reaction coming out really soon when they unblock it. I'm not gonna say it. It's gonna be a surprise, but I did a first time watching for another movie that I haven't seen. I can give you a sneak peek that Matitz was Matitz Valentin, his channel. You know, he's been on my channel a couple of times. We did it together. So I think movie reactions, I will try to do movie reactions, especially first time watching, with not just by myself, because I think it's the commentating part is much more fun if there's two people there. So yeah, that's a thing that is coming out really soon, maybe already on Monday. And there's gonna be this first time watching out, but so far it hasn't been unblocked because YouTube is blocking those stuff all the time. WandaVision is probably the one show that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to every Marvel show, so stay tuned for that. Dark Materials, great show. Yes, it is. I will say that the second season kind of took it a bit too slow, the first few episodes, but it picked it up. And there's one more episode left, so you're gonna get the reaction for that tomorrow. But yeah, tell me, I have a question for you. So far, because you can expect top 10 movies of 2020 and top worst movies of 2020. I mean, it's gonna be hard to only make top 10 worst movies of 2020 because there's been a lot. Not so many good movies this year because of the Rona. Was really harsh on movies. But I would like to know, what is your favorite movie of 2020 so far? I won't spoil you mine. I think there's no other movie that can beat the movie that I have on top of my list. You're gonna have to wait for my video that is gonna come out in the next 2 weeks, because I'm gonna do it before the 2020 ends. But tell me in the chat, what's your favorite movie of 2020 so far? I'd really like to know if you've seen any movies, because maybe you didn't. But I would really like to know what is your favorite movie? Like I said, I mean, I've seen. Let me check my list. I have my list of movies that I've seen, so I can tell you how many movies I've seen in 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 35, and 20, 36. I'm already on 50, so 50. $80. 80. God damn, so many movies. More than 120. I didn't even go through the lists, and I am already on 120, and that's only the movies that were released in 2021. So I've seen probably 500 movies, but I have a list of movies that came out this year and I've seen it. There's a lot of movies that I haven't seen yet, that I'm gonna probably miss for sure, but yeah. I really haven't. What were some of 2020? The beginning of the year, let's say the one that pops into my mind was Invisible Man. Then you've got the Ben Affleck movie. Oh my gosh, what's called? The Way Back. You've got what else? Bad Boys for Life came out at the beginning of the year. Then we had Rona, and nothing came out. But if you look at the theaters, we had Unhinged, Tenet, Mulan. There's been a lot of movies that came out, but a lot of, like, the majority of my movies that are gonna end up on my top 10 list and top 10 worst list are gonna be movies that were because of Rona, they ended up on streaming services. I don't think I have one or two that were in the theaters that I've seen. But yeah, because of Rona, there's been a lot of movies that were not dumped, but were on the streaming services for that reason. I haven't seen a lot of movies. I think maybe Possessor or Invisible Man, but only because I haven't seen a lot. Yeah, two great choices. Possessor is one of those movies that I think Possessor is a movie that this year has the potential to be seen by more people than it would have. I think it's the topic of the movie. It's an indie movie, a very small movie that has an interesting plot. It's really interestingly, how would I say, done. I love that movie, but it's not my top movie of the year, so that's not a spoiler there. But Invisible Man, yeah, probably Invisible Man, I will say, is the best movie of 2020 that I've seen in the theaters. I think, and it came out in February or March. So I saw more series, which is strange from those. I am trying to start. I've been hearing so much stuff about 00000. So yeah, I have to start watching that. The Witches sucked. Yeah. Wasn't the best movie ever. Devil All the Time, yeah, I like that movie a lot as well. It kind of reminded me of Bad Times at the El Royale, not because of the theme of the movie, but the way it was structured. I really enjoyed that movie, and maybe is on my list of top 10. I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, like I said, Invisible Man, I think, is the best movie I've seen this year in the theater. Which I think not that it's sad, because I think it's gonna end up on my at least honorable mentions for 2020. But imagine how many I've seen. I mean, last year I've seen probably more than 80 movies in the theater, which is a lot. I mean, majority of people see like 5 to 10 movies in the theater, maybe even less. But I've seen more than 80, I think. This year I've seen. Let me check my list. I will tell you how many movies I've seen in the theaters this week. This year. I've seen The Gentleman, so one. I've seen Birds of Prey. I've seen Sonic, Bad Boys for Life, Invisible Man, The Way Back. So now we're on 6. The Way Back was the last movie I've seen before the lockdowns. So 6. Then we have to go move forward like 5 6 months, and we get to where is Unhinged? Unhinged was the first movie after the lockdown, and then we got another lockdown. So Unhinged. So I've seen Unhinged. So that's 7. New Mutants 8, and Tenet. 9 movies in the theater. 9 freaking movies. A disaster. A complete disaster. I don't know. I've seen more movies when I was 6 in the theater. So yeah, not good. Not good at all. Why? I don't have Tenet on my list. Jesus. Let's put Tenet over here next to Unhinged. Tenet. I've seen Tenet in the theaters, yes. So that's something. They just released another round, the Vinterberg movie with Mads Mikkelsen, so probably that one will be on my list. Looks great. Yes, it does look great. I heard a lot of great things, so I'm gonna check it out really soon. Mads Mikkelsen is one of the best actors out there. I'm so excited that he was cast as Grindelwald. I think he is he's a perfect Grindelwald. I cannot wait to see him in that. Even though I know people are not like so hyped on the third Fantastic Beast movies, I love Harry Potter, so of course I'm gonna see it just for that. And I'm even more excited because having Mads Mikkelsen in the movie, I think it's gonna be amazing. So that's good. But yeah, this year for movies, I've seen so many shit movies. It's incredible how many shitty movies I've seen this year. Probably because there hasn't been so many movies released in the theaters. I was just left with shite. You have to understand, I've seen 3 movies starring Bella Thorne. Bella freaking Thorne. Now you know where the frick I am with movies. A disaster. I gotta say, I enjoyed some shows more than movies. I really enjoyed The Boys. The Boys, in my opinion, is the best show of 2020. For sure. Cannot wait. Next season coming out next year. Reactions are gonna be here, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, Mandalorian. I did enjoy Mandalorian. Even though you know my thoughts already on that, but I did enjoy Mandalorian. Yeah, I've seen, let me check, how many shows did I see? I see Mandalorian, I've seen The Boys, I've seen Defending Jacob, I've seen Undoing. So that's good. Let me check. I have a list of that as well. So no, I've seen that last year. That's last year. I've seen Tiger King. This year is so long that I completely forgot Tiger King was this year. I've seen Afterlife season 2, one of the best TV stuff ever. If you haven't seen Ricky Gervais, incredible. I've seen the documentary thing, The Last Dance, about Michael Jordan. I love that. Defending Jacob, whatever you think about the ending, I think it's good. I don't think it's good, but I didn't mind the ending. I've seen Hollywood, the new Ryan Murphy TV show on Netflix. I liked it. Well, it wasn't the best, but I liked it. I've seen Love Victor, which is a spin-off show from Love Simon. I love Love Simon. I don't like Love Victor at all because it feels very forced. So didn't like that. I've seen the whole of Ozark. I before this year I haven't seen a single episode. I binged it. I loved it. Cannot wait for season 4. The Boys, awesome. I've seen We Are Who We Are, the new Luca Guadagnino show, limited series on HBO. I like that a lot. It's not for everyone, but if you love Call Me By Your Name, you're gonna love this. Then I've seen The Undoing. I love that. I think Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant are probably gonna take the Emmys. I wouldn't be surprised, or they're at least gonna be nominated. So that's good. And I've seen probably a lot more, but I don't have it on my list. So yeah, Defending Jacob was nice. Tiger King is crazy. Yeah, it is. Imagine, I think they're developing a Tiger King show with Nicolas Cage. Cannot wait for that. Just Nicolas Cage. Imagine that. That's gonna be awesome. But yeah, do you have any other questions? If you have, I'm gonna gladly answer them. If not, I think I'm gonna end this stream here. We've talked a lot. We've talked about Mandalorian season 2, where it's gonna move forward. We talked about movies. We talked about games. If you want to see like the next stream being more game oriented, so that I play a game, let me know in the chat. If you want this like one-on-one conversation, I'm gonna do that. If you want to do some, if you want to see some real stuff, I don't know, I can paint something. I'm not good at it, but I can try. Imagine me following Bob Ross's I don't know, tutorial. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm not gonna end it if there's any more questions for me. I do use this stream for like Q&A. I like, it's been a while since I've done a Q&A video. So I think this is a better way to do it than do it as a video. I don't know why, but yeah. That would be nice. Which game would be? Oh, I mean, right now, I think the only things that I do play are Watch Dogs Legion and Hearthstone. I mean, Hearthstone is one of those games that I can play without even realizing I'm playing it. Hearthstone is the best game for just relax and actually do something else besides it. I watch YouTube videos and play why am I saying Overwatch? Hearthstone. I listen to podcasts and play Hearthstone. I actually sometimes edit videos and play Hearthstone because you just have to move the thing. So Hearthstone is one of those games that I can play and don't think about anything else. So maybe there's nothing else that I can play right now. I am still on the previous gen PlayStation 4. I am considering buying it, PlayStation 5, and maybe then I can play the new Spider-Man game. Even though then I have to buy a new Elgato, because I think the Elgato that I have, it's not working properly, and it's the old version of it, so I don't know if it's gonna work properly. So I don't know if I can do some console things. I mean, even though 2020 has been a rough year, I was kind of busy at times. So, and I kind of fell off the video game things. I don't play it a lot anymore. Like I said, Hearthstone is the only thing that I play on a regular basis. Now, Watch Dogs Legions, I was planning on to play Cyberpunk 2077, but that's not gonna happen right now. But yeah, I still play video games, but not as much as I did or as I used to, just because it doesn't make me as happy as I did some before, and I don't have time. I rather use my time for something else than just playing games. So I still enjoy it. So that's why I'm asking you if you want to see me play a video game. But there's no like new games besides Cyberpunk that I would be excited to play. But yeah, Watch Dogs Legion, I'm not done with the story. Sometimes I just play it for the sake of it. You can just go around and have a good time. So that's something. But yeah, if there's no other questions, I did appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Alex, for being here. Thank you, Mr. Sean 42088. Also, Fake Valentine, thank you for being here. And everybody who hasn't said a word and still watched it, I do appreciate it. But yeah, if there's no other things, stream went pretty well. I'm streaming right now for how long? I don't know. 1 hour and 40 minutes. So far, not a single stream went over 2 hours. So I don't know if that's good or if you want to see a longer stream. I mean, yeah, sure. But if I do like a talkie stream, it's hard if there's no questions for me to just ramble about stuff, even though I did for 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I'm kind of good at it. But yeah, if that's it, if there's no questions there, I'm gonna end it. Still next week, next Saturday, don't worry, the stream is gonna be there, 26th of December. Hopefully you're gonna have an amazing Christmas, because we're not gonna see each other until Christmas, until after the Christmas in this form. I've got, I think, 2 videos planned before Christmas, so stay tuned for that content. Yet again, thank you for everybody who's supporting me, who's watching these streams, who's just subscribed, liking my videos, or disliking, or just commenting. I do appreciate every single one of you, because it's just nice to see that. But yeah, hopefully next stream is gonna be bigger and better, and I don't know what else. But like I said, 26th of December is the next Saturday, and then that's it for 2020, because that's gonna be the last stream of 2020. I don't know if I'm gonna stream immediately the next weekend, the 2nd of January in 2021. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Like I said, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you're gonna have the best Christmas, safe Christmas. Hopefully you can be with your family. If not, go on Zoom and celebrate Christmas with your family in that way, because that's the reality that we live in. Hopefully you're gonna eat a lot. Hopefully you're gonna get some gifts. If not, just surviving 2020 is a gift, I think. But yeah, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you're gonna have an amazing Christmas, happy holidays and all those stuff. But yeah, I see you next Saturday, 26th of December. And that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can like, you can share, follow me on my social medias. They are in the description of the stream. I'm not like very active on there, but I do post a few stuff, so if you want to see that, why the heck not? But yeah, see you next time on the stream. Goodbye, and let's hope I'm gonna do this smoothly.